go. Bring it up, baby. Let's go. Daddy, on me. Daddy, on me. 1, 2, 3, go.
What is good? 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 Shout out to everybody here. Shout out to the Raider Nation. Happy Easter to everybody in the chat. Hope everybody's having a phenomenal day. Just wanted to come up on here, let you guys know. Let's talk some Raider football for a little bit while we celebrate a good day with the family. So, really quick, shout out to everybody in here. We already got Renato in the building. Thor and Larry, Digital Prez, Anthony, shout out to you guys who are already in here. Happy Easter to all of you guys. Blue King was popping, my brother. I'm happy that all of you guys are already here. We got Uncharted. We got Richard. What's up with you, my brother? Dude, that boy profile picture is like, woo, I gotta break my neck. I gotta break my neck. Shout out to James in the chat. Rafael was good. Happy Easter to all of you guys, man. Hope everybody's having a great day with their family, spending and having good quality family time today, because that's what it's all about, man. That is what it's truly all about. Happy Easter, little bro. Appreciate you, dogs. Appreciate you, my brother. Eduardo says, happy Sunday fun day. Yes, sir, man. Let's see. Salute maybe Raider Gabe. Happy Easter, Andy in the nation. Yes. Happy Easter. But listen, there isn't too much. Sorry. Andy is how it turned out. No, it's all good. But listen, there isn't much like news to go on in the nation, but as we all know, the Raiders, they're just all in on these cornerbacks, man. When it comes to these cornerbacks in the draft process, they are all for getting a cornerback, because that's what it looks like, right? So just a quick little update. We'll start off on this, and then you guys can just ask some questions. We'll answer it. We'll have a fun time. But I want to get this up out the way first. Look, so the Raiders decided, you know what? We're going to hold a visit. It is a top 30 visit with USC cornerback Isaac Taylor Stewart. Now, he is another guy that yet again had a fast 40-yard dash. Running a 4.45 40 isn't bad at all. He's only 21 years old, so he is on that younger side of these prospects coming out. He appeared in 26 games for USC, recording 80 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 8 pass breakups. And the Raiders said, you know what? He's projected to be maybe a 6th, 7th round pick. Let's bring him in. Let's get to know the kid. And let's see if we can maybe get ourselves a sneaky little guy in the 6th to 7th round. So it's pretty interesting. I'm liking that right there. And the Raiders weren't done yet with bringing in another cornerback to visit on another. This one was not a top 30 visit. It was just a virtual meeting. And this one was with Washington State cornerback Jalen Watson. Now, he's 22 years old, appeared in 15 games for them, 44 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 5 pass breakups, 6 fumble recoveries, and 3 forced fumbles. So he's around the ball, and he's only 22 years old, already has that NFL frame at 6'3", 204. Good frame for that cornerback position. And on top of that, again, a fast 40 running in the 4.4s, 4.49 to be specific, with 19 reps at the bench press. Currently projected probably the 6th to 7th round. And if I might say something, 19 reps on 225 for a defensive back, that is pretty damn impressive. But the whole thing is, it's like, man, the Raiders are really trying to look to attack and get themselves a cornerback. That's what it's like. They want a cornerback in the draft, right? Hello, not a thick frame, bro, this man. But it seems like the Raiders really want to go out, get themselves a cornerback, a guy that they can develop, a guy that they feel like can compete on this roster with the guys that are already here. Now, I'm not throwing anything out there, but what I will say is that it's looking like with the New York Giants, James Bradberry did not attend to any of the voluntary workouts, and it's looking like they may be forced to cut James Bradberry sooner rather than later. Now, As we all know, we were linked to him in a possible trade earlier on in the offseason. So to see that the Raiders are this high on cornerbacks with these top 30 visits and virtual meetings, imagine what happens if former Patrick Graham player James Bradbury hits the open market as a free agent. That would be very, very interesting to see how key and how big we are in on possibly acquiring him. Of course, Stephon Gilmore is a Colt, so there's that. But the Raiders do seem to be all in on these cornerbacks, right? I feel like maybe like 60-70% of these top 30 visits have been corners. So very, very interesting to see that. Shout out to the other people that pulled in. We got Pyro, Anthony. Was good? Was good with you too in the chat, man. Shout out to y'all pulling in. But yeah, what would you guys think? What would you guys pay a guy like James Bradbury if the Giants are forced to cut him? He did not show up. He did not show up to any workouts with the Giants this past week. So very, very, very interesting. I'm not gonna like throw like, oh my God, this man is gonna get cut. But that is a player that we said could get cut earlier on in the offseason. And it's looking like with him not attending any workouts, with him having a $22 million cap hit this year, it could be happening. Very, very interesting. And shout out to my brother Graf in the building. Happy Easter to you, my brother, and your family. But yeah, very, very interesting on that. So, I mean, I'm all for bringing him in, but at the end of the day, if they're just confident in these guys that they're bringing in for visits, because I believe like 60 or 70% of these top 30 visits have been corners, right? Tariq Woolen, Kalon Barnes, Isaac Taylor Stewart, Alante Taylor, like all these guys are corners, dude. Dean Leonard, all these boys are corners that we have met with for the most part. So we are not playing around when it comes to these. Mario Goodrich, all these are corners, all of them. All of them are corners. Hawaii, Cortez, Davis, all these boys are playing that cornerback position. So it's very, very interesting. Jeremy was good, was popping, my brother. Raider Nightmare was popping with you, man. Happy Easter to y'all's families. What we got in here was good with you, my brother. Salute and happy Easter to you and the fam for sure. Andy, does Diablo break out still the same guy this year? What do you mean he's still the same guy? I think that Diablo is going to be put in a position where he's not going to have to really do he's not going to have to do too much, right? Because in the last scheme that we were in with that 4-3 under mold, it's pretty not hard, but it is a lot of work for the linebackers in that scheme. And the reason is because it's a 4-3. So there's only 3 linebackers, right? When you're in the base of a 3-4, you now have 4 linebackers that could potentially drop into coverage, and it's less space that they have to worry about. So do I think that Divine Diablo will break out? I think his job will overall, he'll get better because it's year 2. He had the whole second half of the season that he started. I think that with Divine Diablo being paired up with linebacker coach Antonio Pierce and Rob Ryan there to help him, along with Patrick Graham, I think that Patrick Graham overall is just going to get the best out of all these players. Do I think that Divine Diablo would break out? I'd say that would happen in his 3rd year when he's had 2 years of NFL experience, and I think he really takes that big leap in his 3rd season. But where I do think we'll see improvement is confidence in downfield routes. Like last year, there was a couple times where Divine Diablo maybe didn't have too much confidence either in himself or the teammates next to him, to where he trusted his guys to go follow his man downfield, or he was comfortable in his zone, making sure that nobody else is going to be there. I think the Divine Diablo, the biggest step that he'll take this year is in the run defense, but I think overall he'll just become a better player this year, because like I said, that that coaching staff that's around him and all these boys, it is a damn good coaching staff, man. Very, very good coaching staff for him to be able to excel and just get better overall in the system. But if there's a player that I think that could break out in the system on defense, it'd probably have to be Trayvon Merrick, because Trayvon Merrick is a guy that coming out of college, he was a guy that was always around the ball. Like, they put him everywhere at TCU. They said, okay, you know what? We're going to line you up in the slot so that you can be near the ball. He'd get pass breakups. He'd get interceptions. He'd be around the ball all the time. And then they say, you know what? We're going to pair you up at free safety with Ardarius Washington. You guys are going to play quarters defense. And then they're going to go out and they're going to put him at deep high and they're going to play cover 3. And then they're going to go out and play cover 2. And then they're going to do all these different things, right, with Trayvon Merrick so that they can get the absolute most out of him. I don't think that we did that enough with Gus Bradley. I think that Gus Bradley was kind of like, well, my scheme just really only needs you to do one thing. And if the ball comes to you, great. If it doesn't, so be it, right? And I don't really think that's a good way to get maximum growth and just getting the most out of your players is just by asking him to do one job. Unless it's a below average player that you're just asking him, like, okay, we just want you to do this so that everybody else can play their role. We're not going to ask you to do too much, right? But I do think that Trayvon Merrick could be that guy that you'll see from last year. He played good, but I think that he'll take that transition into playing great, right? You'll understand why he was regarded as the top safety in that year's class, right? But I do think we should still take a safety to pair up with him. I really want that. Anthony says, is Hobbs playing in the slot or is the outside talk real? I definitely say that the outside talk is real just because it came from the mouth of our head coach. So our head coach, he was the one that stated that fact, that he is going to allow Nate Hobbs to get the chance to compete, not just on the inside, but he also wants him to compete on the outside. So he wants to see what he can do when he's competing against Anthony Averett, Rocky Sin, Trayvon Mullen. He wants to see what he has overall. Do I think that by week 1 of the regular season that Hobbs will be starting on the outside? I don't think so. I think that he'll still start on the inside. But I would really, really like to just keep him there. But if Patrick Graham says, you know what, I see something in him that I saw in another player that I coached, and I would love to see what he has on the outside. If it works, great. And if it doesn't, well, you have a top end slot corner already with Nate Hobbs. Let's see. Happy Easter, brother. What player do you see us grabbing after June 1st? This one right here, I'd probably have to go with the player that I feel like we'd get after June 1st. I'm going to go out and I'm gonna make Hammer happy. Shout out to my brother Hammer's house. I'm going to go out and I'm going to say Kyle Van Noy is a guy that we'll pick up after June 1st, right? After most of the rosters are getting filled up to go to training camp, after the draft is over, once we get a lot of money, I think that we'll make the move to go out and see what Kyle Van Noy's availability is and see if he wants to come and play for the Las Vegas Raiders and a coaching staff that he already knows and is comfortable with. So we'll see. We'll see. Let Hobbs dominate inside, in my opinion. I feel the same way. But if our coaching staff wants to see something out of Nate Hobbs that we may not have seen in him, I'm all for that as well. I don't want to limit these guys, especially if they feel like they can maximize their potential, maximize their growth. I would love to get this coaching staff to be able to get the most out of these guys. Let's see. Who is your top 3 outside cornerbacks in the NFL? In the NFL, it's probably... I don't know, because I really like Marlon Humphrey, but he's not really like... I think Marlon Humphrey is more of a slot. My top 3 had to be Jair, Jalen, and probably... Oh, man. I don't know who that third guy is. There's a lot of people that could dominate. But yeah, there's just a lot of good ones, but I don't really know really. Anthony, it's what Andy said. He's getting a chance. See what he has. Yeah. So we just, I guess we're just seeing, our top 3. Our top 3 outside corners in order. I'd probably have to say, I'm basing this off of last year, okay? So nobody get at me when I'm saying this. I'm basing this top 3 cornerbacks out of last season for outside cornerbacks, not slot, because then Nate Hobbs would be number one. But I'd have to go Rock, Anthony Averett, Trayvon Mullen in that order. And the reason is just Trayvon Mullen was hurt. Anthony Averett came off of a career year, and so did Rock Ya-Sin. So I have to kind of put them above them. But yeah, on our team, I think that that's how it's probably going to look like heading into camp. But really, I think that Trayvon Mullen has the whole skill set, the complete package to be able to go and be that number one guy. Just, I'm just not sure, He's also on a contract year. Same with Rock Ya-Sin. Anthony Averett only signed a 1-year deal. He'll probably end up getting a contract maybe before Mullen, just because we traded for Mullen. But we traded for Rock, but it is what it is. Stop using frame. Just say his build. Nah, man, we gotta say frame, man. We gotta we gotta say frame. Salute Red Nightmare. Yes, now we gotta use the word frame. That it's just a part of it. Show Andy love with some. Nah, man, you don't ever gotta donate to this channel ever. We just in here chopping it up as a nation. If you want to, great. If not, I'm gonna talk with y'all, answer y'all questions regardless. I don't ever donate. And please don't just talk in the chat with me, spend some time, have some fun. Let's do it that way. Bro, Anthony Averett is my guy. Dark horse best signing of the year. That's interesting, right? Because last year, who would you guys say was our dark horse out of last year's free agency class? Let me look up the Raiders free agency class last year. It'd probably be Casey Hayward. Our best free agent acquisition last year. Let's see. Raiders 2021 free agents. Anthony Averett is a monster. He's coming off of a career year for sure. So we brought in Kenyon Drake, Yannick Ngakoue. We brought in a couple of guys last year, so it's a little interesting. Probably Casey Hayward was our best free agent acquisition last year. This year, there's many guys that you can talk about, right? If you want, you can say that Anthony Averett has that potential. I really think though that Chandler Jones will be that guy, right? We need that veteran on that D line. I know that Max is a vet now, but he got himself a second contract. He's a vet basically. So with Chandler Jones being here, he's been in the NFL for so long, over 100 sacks in his career. He's in top elite company when you're talking about his production in the NFL. I think that Chandler Jones, he'll probably be that guy for us this year. But what I do want us to add on this team, and this is why I was a really big advocate for bringing in maybe a Stephon Gilmore, was because I really, really wanted us to go out and get that veteran at the cornerback position to kind of be that Casey Hayward of this new system, right? Casey Hayward came in, he taught the youngins, he was able to come in, translate into this defense like it was nothing because he's already been in it. So I wanted us to do the same thing with a guy like Gilmore, but that didn't work. So it is what it is. But you still have that chance to add a polished veteran, a seasoned veteran is the better word, seasoned veteran at the safety position in a guy like maybe Tyrann Mathieu. But in my opinion, where the Raiders are right now, if you guys have been following the channel for a while or for this offseason, you would know that I always wanted Gilmore over Mathieu, because I'm a bigger fan of the safeties in this year's draft class than I am of the corners in this year's draft class. But the Raiders have been doing their due diligence and their homework on all these cornerbacks with these top 30 visits and virtual meetings. It's looking like they want a cornerback in either the draft or the UDFA signings or both, right? So we'll have to see with that. But what I'm getting at is I want a veteran on the back end that can just be that coach and that coach on the field for these young guys that are still learning, right? Mullen, Nate, Rock, they're all on their rookie contracts. They're all on their rookie deals. So they're still pretty new to the NFL. So I would love to get a veteran that can be that teacher on and off the field, that can be that mentor, that can take a guy under their wing and really do that and be that role model for these guys on and off the field. So I'll be very, very interested to see if we do add another corner or another safety in free agency. I think that Deron Harmon is that kind of guy, though, that can be that teacher, that can be solid in the backfield on the back end at that safety position. But I would like to see us grab one for the corners, right? When free agency opened up, you guys always heard me talk about Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith, I love Jimmy Smith, man. That's a great, great player, in my opinion. And if you bring in Jimmy Smith to bring like the number 4 or 5 corner, I think that you're getting a good deal there. Shout out to my brother Watts, man. He says Averett was the starter when Smith and Peters got hurt, so he can start, but I think he's the number 4 corner. I think Mullen, Yasin, and Hobbs are the 1, 2, and 3. Well, we were ranking them in terms of outside corners. I don't think that Anthony Averett is the 4th cornerback on this roster. I think that he can make a case for being number 2, maybe even number 1. I mean, Anthony Averett came off the best season of his career. So did Rock Ya-Sin. And Trayvon Mullen is coming off of a season plagued with injuries. So I wouldn't say that he's 4. But I definitely think that when it's all said and done, when it's time to play football week 1, I think that could be the lineup, right? You have Rock, you have Mullen, and then you got Nate in the slot. I think that could be the lineup, and you could have Averett as that rotational piece. Either way you put it, one of these guys are going to be a rotational piece, and like you said, he can start. So whoever it is that is knocked out of the lineup of the starting role is still going to be a starting caliber cornerback. So that just shows the depth and the good money management and all that kind of stuff that the Raiders have been putting into this defense and just overall improving the team. So if you can get a starting caliber player to be your rotational guy, very, very well done by the staff. So yes, Watts, I agree with you to an extent on that. Shout out to my guy Raider Ruckus, man. He says, salute, my brother. Salute to you. What's good with my guy Tavio? What's popping, brother? Swin in the building. Let's see. Our current O-line will challenge the DBs. Oh, our current offense will challenge the DBs for sure. For sure. I think the best part of building a competitive roster is that you're not just going to be competing with other teams. You're going to be competing with your own team and making your own team better week in and week out due to the fact that with having a bunch of talent on the offense, it makes you match that with a bunch of talent on the defense, right? Colton Miller is going to get better having to practice against Chandler Jones and Max Crosby every single rep, right? And then when you take one of those guys out, you're putting Cleveland Furrow, a former first-round pick, in. And then on the inside, right, you have Bilal Nichols, a guy that gave our interior offensive line some work this season. So I'm very, very excited to see what the Raiders have built on both sides of football, and we're not done. We're not done. We still have $5 million in cap right now. I'd say that cap will probably end up going to our draft class, but that's saying that you have another $20 million or so to work with in terms of adding talent this year post-June. And as we all know, I believe we got KJ Wright and Casey Hayward post-June. They were both after the draft, and I think just in time for training camp in June. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. There's always going to be good talent out there. I'm not too sure why the talents of Eddie Goldman or Linval Josephs and stuff like that are still out there and their services are still available. It's probably just because these guys are veterans and know that they'll just go to a team that has a specific need at their particular position. And let's see. Shout out to my brother Kenny in the building. He says, what's up, Annie? Washington, D.C. is rolled into the house, baby boy. How goes it? Hey, we're having a good time. Easter Sunday, spending it with the nation. Having a good time, just talking some Raider football, just chopping it up, brother. Anthony says, I'm just hanging out this Easter because just getting over being sick, and my mom wasted me home this weekend because we have plans the next 2 weekends. Next week is cousin's wedding. Damn. Congratulations to your cousin, and it does seem like you need to be chilled out right now if you're just coming off of a little sickness. That's good. That's wise thinking from the mother, man. Always got to trust the mother's intuition. Let's see. I want to see the cornerback. I want to see the cornerback wanting some Devontae every day, getting better and better. I agree. I want our guys, even though Devontae Adams is the best of the best in the business. I want that as well, Anthony. I want a guy that either has that cockiness or that will to say, you know what, Devontae, I know you're the best in the business, but I want to go up against you week in, week out, down in, down out, so that I can get better, so that you can get better, and I can learn some tricks from the best in terms of guarding best wide receivers in the NFL. I want that as well, Anthony. And I think we'll get that, right? As of right now, it's not happening too much just because it's right now it's just like strength and conditioning, giving these guys probably like meal plans to get to weights and stuff like that where they want to be at, where Patrick Graham and Josh McDaniels wants these guys to be at. So we're probably not going to see any much of that competitiveness until after the draft, or after the draft, which is very, very soon. So very, very exciting to see that. If you draft the cornerback, it's probably in the 5th round. Then you'll still have Phillips. I want a cornerback probably in that 5th, maybe 7th round range, just because we don't have that sixth round pick. But I think there's some solid developmental pieces that you can go out and maybe get in the 5th or 6th or 7th round. And I do think that we'll probably trade back at some point in the draft to get more draft capital for Dave Ziegler. I think that Dave Ziegler wants more than just what we have right now in terms of the picks. So I think that we'll probably end up with the draft maybe with like one trade back, and we acquire 1 or 2 extra picks, which isn't bad. I'm for that. I want to do that. You guys know me. I'm all for trading back and getting more value. And I really like this year's draft from rounds 3 to 7. I really, really do. And that's not just because we don't have any 1st or 2nd round picks, but that also plays a factor. Let's see. What's up with the only interviews are with cornerbacks and tight ends? We were just talking about that Raider ruckus because the Raiders decided to bring in another cornerback in Isaac Taylor Stewart in for a visit, and then another cornerback after that. And he goes by the name of, what is his name? Dun, dun, dun. He goes by the name of Jalen Watson. So we brought in 2 other cornerbacks in the last day for another top 30 visit. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens, but it's interesting for sure. What position is Denzel Good playing? That's a good thing to talk about right now. So just a few days ago, Denzel Good passed his physical with the Raiders, so that's great, right? Like I was just mentioning, these workouts right now is just physicals, weights, what is it, stamina training, all that kind of stuff. So Denzel Good, he passed his physical, and it was reported that he is now eligible and will be competing for that starting left guard position. So he'll be competing with Alex Bars, he'll be competing with John Simpson, and of course himself, to get that starting job at the left guard spot. So that's the spot that I was saying that I feel like he was going to end up starting day one. I do think that him competing with John Simpson will elevate both of them in terms of just getting better overall. So I mean, I like John Simpson. I think he can definitely get better in terms of technique and how he blocks, but it's a beginning for Denzel Good, right? He had a very, very good season the year before, being that Swiss Army knife on the offensive line, and a bull crap injury, sadly, and thankfully he was under a 2-year contract, so we get him for 1 more year, and his injury was in the beginning of the season, so that helps as well. So he had the entire year to get healthy. Darrell Williams is still out there, right tackle from Buffalo. Darrell Williams is a beast. I would love to bring in Darrell Williams. He's that guy that personally, I honestly don't know why Buffalo didn't bring him back. That's for one. I have no idea why you wouldn't go out and keep as much protection for Josh Allen as possible. But Daryl Williams is a phenomenal player in my opinion. Right, he's a guy that when he's playing that right tackle position, specifically right tackle, he is above average at his position, and he shows longevity. He shows that he has no injury history or anything like that, and he's always available. That's the biggest thing. We always talk about that, right? Availability is the best ability, and he's always available for his team. And something that kind of gets overlooked when people are talking about Daryl Williams is the fact that how good he is in terms of transitioning from right tackle to right guard, right? Because he has that versatility to play both. In my opinion, for us, for us, that'll be great. If you can sign a Daryl Williams, right, they can play right tackle or right guard. Personally, I would have him at right tackle so that Alex Leatherwood can continue to play right guard. But what is it that we heard from Josh McDaniels? He's going to allow Alex Leatherwood to compete for that right tackle spot because that's what he was drafted for. That's what his contract is constructed for. It is a right tackle payment for a first round player. So if you are able to get Alex Leatherwood to perform at the right tackle level that he needs to be, then all you have to do there is just say, you know what, Daryl Williams, will just bump you inside. It's maybe not what you want, but you're already getting paid for a right tackle, but you're playing guard. So I think that with Daryl Williams, you're kind of getting best of both worlds, and you should do it. I would love to bring in Daryl Williams. That is a good player that I think that we should bring in for sure at this point. Of his career, I think that these tackles, these offensive linemen are only getting better with age. So very interesting, man. Left guard, yeah, that's what I thought you meant. Happy Easter, Red Nation family. Yes, sir, Robert. Happy Easter to everybody in here and their families. Andy, Ziggy should have gotten Shaq from New England. Yeah, I mean, Shaq Mason getting traded to, I believe it was the Buccaneers for like a 5th or a 6th round pick. That was interesting. I would have done that in a heartbeat, but the Raiders had other plans, right? The Raiders weren't going to give up a 5th round pick because they knew they were going to give up their first 2 picks for Devontae Adams. So they were playing chess, not checkers with that one. But I would have loved to have Shaq Mason on this offensive line. That would have been amazing. Who is the number 3 running back? We already know the top 2. So we could talk about this, right? We know that Kenyon Drake and Josh Jacobs are the number 1, number 2 running back. Right now, I think that our number 3 running back is probably Brandon Bolden. After that, you have Trey Regis, and then you have your fullback in Jacob Johnson. I think that Jacob Johnson, he's going to make the roster regardless. Trey Regis, I think he'll end up going back I think Trey Regis ended up going back to the practice squad. And then in terms of Amir Abdullah, I think that he'll be listed as a wide receiver when it's all said and done. So I think that, Amir Abdullah will make the roster as a wide receiver / kick returner or special teams player. That's what I think will happen. Buffalo didn't have enough money after signing Von Miller. We got the money post-June. Go get him. I would do it, but I just hope that he'd still be available, right? Teams need that offensive line help for sure. Andy, you think the Raiders keep making moves or just waiting on the draft? Today, I don't think the Raiders are going to make any moves. It's Easter. And I'm sure you weren't asking about today specifically, but I think that up until the draft, Anthony, I think that it would be very mellow, slow-paced. I think that you'll continue to see the reports of the Raiders bringing in players on visits and virtual meetings and all that kind of stuff. But I think that in terms of signings, I think that you might get like one more signing before the draft, and it'll probably just be like another depth piece or a camp body or somebody that'll compete for a roster spot. I don't think that we'll see like a Ndamukong Suh or something like that, right, get signed to the roster before the draft. I think that right now it'll just be very mellow, and it'll just be all about bringing in guys for visits and getting to know these prospects before we draft them in 10 days, right? Like the draft is very, very soon. So we'll see. Let's see. Alex Leatherwood doesn't need to be moved. I agree with you on that, Watts, but It's looking like that's what Josh McDaniels wants him to do, for sure. You start Good over John Simpson. I think you should. I think that Good will end up beating him out. I think that that's what will end up happening. Good is a better run blocker than Simpson. I think that Good is overall a better player than John Simpson. I actually think that Good and John Simpson in terms of run blocking is pretty competitive. I think that they're closer than what people think. I think that Good, he just needs to get his technique down in terms of knowing where to put his hands. He has a problem of getting really wide and grabbing people's shoulder pads instead of getting into their chest plate, and it's not good, right? Because then that causes holding penalties and all this kind of stuff that doesn't need to be had. Let's see. Who's the starting strong safety week 1 opposite of Merrick? Man. I mean, hopefully it isn't Abram. I think that Abram will do phenomenal closer to the line of scrimmage, maybe at like a weak side linebacker or will linebacker role. I think that that's where Abram should be put to get the most out of him in his last year of his rookie deal. But I think that week 1, depending on what we do in the draft, obviously, Anthony, I think it'll probably be Deron Harmon. But to that, the Raiders did meet with safety Marquise Bell out of, I believe it's Florida or something like that. And Marquise Bell is one of my higher end safety prospects in this draft. So yeah, Florida A&M, Marquise Bell. That's another player that the Raiders decided to meet with. If you guys did not watch my video that I dropped about him, I'll run down the stats. This is a guy, he jumps off the tape when you're looking at Florida A&M's film. So Marquise Bell was hosted by the Las Vegas Raiders for a top 30 visit. He's 23 years old, 6'3", 205. Good size for a safety. Recorded 99 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 6 interceptions, 7 forced fumbles, 12 pass breakups, and a touchdown in 23 games for them. He ran a 4.41 40 with a 36.5-inch vertical, and he's projected as a 4th-round pick. I like Marquise Bell a lot. So we'll see. I would like to get a safety in this draft. I would really, really like to get a safety in this draft because I like a lot of them. I really, really like a lot of these safeties. I think that you can get a starting safety in the 5th round. I really, really, really like these safeties. He says, check out safety Bubba Bolden from Miami. I love Bubba Bolden as well. One of my favorite mock drafts that I've ever done had Bubba Bolden in the 5th round for the Raiders. I like these safeties. I think that Verone McKinley's, Nick Cross, Bubba Bolden, Marquise Bell, you can get a lot of good players at that safety position where we're standing in the draft. But if the Raiders, for whatever reason, don't draft a safety, I could see Deron Harmon starting no problem. I mean, Deron Harmon has been a starter the last 2 years of his career. And overall, he's familiar with the system. And he's a damn good coverage safety. Really, really good player. Bolden could fall to the 7th. I don't see that happening, man. I see that Bubba Bolden, Bubba Bolden was a top end safety if he would have came out the year before. He didn't come out the year before. So, for whatever reason, when players don't come out the year before and they come out the year after, their draft stock just plummets. And I think that Bubba Bolden, 5th round pick, will be a steal for any team that grabs him. I would love to get Bubba Bolden. I just like these safeties in this year's draft, right? Like, it's kind of that have a safety, not problem, but a safety concern, especially since we've drafted Jonathan Abram to be a safety. Like that should have been our guy, right? But it isn't. It isn't, right? So it is what it is, but whatever. Whatever. I really like these safeties, though. I really, really like these safeties overall in this year's draft. Way too many QBs to not have a safety that don't get his boots cooked. Bro, just in general, man, like you got to get a safety that'll just be that ball hawk, right? Verone McKinley, in my opinion, is one of my favorite players in this year's draft. He's a guy who's always around the ball, like always around the ball. And he's shown that. I believe he has 12 turnovers in the last 2 years. So Verone McKinley, in my opinion, is one of my favorite safeties. You got Jaquan Brisker, right? You got Kirby Joseph, Verone McKinley, Brian Cook from Cincinnati, Yusuf Corker. That's my brother Graff's guy. Out of Kentucky, you got Smoke Monday, Marquise Bell, Bubba Bolden. Let's see. I even like Tyson Anderson a little bit out of Toledo. Nasir Greer is a good guy, really raw, but he can end up developing. But there's a ton of safeties. Like I like all these guys, so we'll see. We'll see. I definitely want the Raiders to leave the draft with at least one of those names that I just mentioned. But the Raiders did decide to meet with Florida A&M safety Marquise Bell. So I love that. A former high jump champion as well. So he has a good resume to him. Let's see. Maury can handle himself, but that other guy will get picked on this year. I mean, Duron Harmon, I think that you'd be pretty stupid as a quarterback to pick on Duron Harmon. That's not me big upping Duron Harmon, but if you look at that man's resume, the dude, when he gets tested, that boy passes with flying colors, bro. Like, he has over 25 or 20 interceptions in his career. He will get that ball if you throw it his way. So Duron Harmon, man, you don't want to test him, like you don't want to pick on him, but I think that where Duron Harmon is at in his career and where these guys like Marquise Bell and the Smoke Mondays and all these guys, I think that you can, I think that you can get a potential superstar with one of these guys, right? So it's like, I mean, you can get by with Duron Harmon, but at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you got a beast for the future, right? Duron Harmon's at the back end of his career. Let's see. The Raiders are looking for both quarterbacks to be young press cover cornerbacks. I think is what you meant to say, to be press coverage guys with the speed and the safeties to be interchangeable because they want to disguise coverages and really confuse offenses. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, right? That's why when you see how Patrick Graham ran his defense with the Giants, although he had a true free safety with Xavier McKinney, he also had a true free safety with Logan Ryan. So they were able to just switch and come down, and one goes up, the other one goes in the slot. Then they both play split together because they were both two true coverage safeties. They were able to do it all. So you got to look at that as well. That's why I feel like right now the Raiders really, really, really should be in on guys like, the Nick Crosses, the Verone McKinleys, the Kirby Josephs, like all these guys the Raiders should be doing their homework on, and I'm sure they are. But I also feel like the Raiders are comfortable with Duron Harmon. So there's that as well. He says, Andy, I talked to Stu until 5 a.m. He wants to know. Come on, man. Listen, Stu can get his own damn bed. What it do, Andy? Been a while, man. Good to see you. Good to see you still do your thing. Growing, much love. Appreciate you, Raider rapping for sure. But yeah, I'm always do my thing, brother. And I'm just glad you were able to catch me on this live real quick, man. How many DBs do you think we take in this draft? DBs, corners. I'm gonna say two. I think we get two. We get a corner and we get a safety in this year's draft. I think that we get a corner in the 7th, a safety in the 4th. That's what I think we do. The Autumn Wind. Sup, Andy? How you doing, brother? Much love from Germany. Shout out to my guy. What time is it over there in Germany, man? Appreciate you for pulling up, man. Let's see. So it doesn't matter your formations or fronts. Yes, exactly. What they want to do is, the way that Patrick Graham explained it in his introductory press conference was, we are going to be complex, but mostly we want to give the illusion that we're complex. So we're gonna go out and we're gonna show something, but really we already know the rules and the terminology of what we have to do before the snap anyways. We just want to give the offense a chance to second guess themselves. And when you second guess in the NFL, that creates turnovers, mistakes, all that kind of stuff, right? So with Patrick Graham saying, yes, we want to be complex, but most of the time we just want to give the illusion that we're being complex. That's playing chess, not checkers, right? You can show what a too high safety look and come down into a cover three, right? You want to do stuff like this, but you can't do that the other way around with like how Gus Bradley did it. You can't really go from a cover one look and then go out and play cover two, right? Because then a bunch of rotation your safety inside the box. So it's very interesting, right? But most importantly, I feel like for Patrick Graham, he needs two coverage safeties. I think we have two good coverage safeties on the roster right now with Deron Harmon and Trayvon Mullen, of course. But I would love for us to go out and get a safety in this year's draft for sure. Anyways, it's 2 a.m. right now. I'm at a night shift, bro. Damn, get that money, brother. Get that money. Let's see. There should be a salute emoji since the nation is always saluting each other once we come in. The chats. You know what, Anthony? You gave me a damn good idea. When I start up the little members, I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make that a little emo. I'm gonna do that for you. It's a good idea, Anthony. Let's see. Was good, Andy. Happy Easter to you and the fam, my guy. Always great content. Raiders! Most definitely appreciate you, Ryan. Always tuning in, showing love. It's the 18th here in Germany. Okay, so, oh, wait, what? So Easter didn't already pass? Damn. Super Bowl champs, Raiders car MVP of the NFL. I'm loving that right there. He says, I don't think the front office is worried about DBs as much as fans. I agree. I agree. I feel like they're comfortable after they traded for Rock, after they signed Averett, after they signed Ron Harmon. I agree with you, Tavio, for sure. For sure. If the personnel is always the same, you don't get any hints. Facts. Facts. But, and that's no knock. What I was saying about last year's defense, that's not a knock on Gus Bradley. It's just a knock on it's just a new age of football. It's a new age of football, right? Gus Bradley was able to do that in 2013, right? The game has changed a lot since 2013. Like, he was able to put up one defense because he had a superstar at linebacker, he had a superstar at outside linebacker, superstar at corner, superstar at safety, two good defensive ends. Like, he was able to do that kind of shit, right? But it's like, let's be honest, where the Raiders were last year on defense, they didn't have a Chandler Jones. They didn't. They didn't have a Rocky Center, Anthony Averett. I'm not saying that these guys are like miles better, but they fit better in the NFL in today's game than what he was doing back then, right? So, it allowed these guys to play quick and play fast, which was good. I feel like ultimately that's why we made the playoffs. Because our defense was able to hit a stride and head into the playoffs like that. But I definitely feel like the system was just a little bit outdated. Let's see. Damn, and I keep talking that shit to existence. What did he say? Let's see. We ready? Oh yeah, facts. The Super Bowl for surely. Damn. So if I was in Germany, I'd be 25 right now because my birthday's tomorrow. Shout out to my brother Q, man. Man, you be 25. That's fire, man. Happy early birthday to my brother Q. And if I'm on, because I'll most likely be on tomorrow as well, happy early birthday to my brother Q. We need all happy birthdays in the chat, man. That's dope. Shout out to my brother Q, getting many more blessings and many more years to come, man. That's dope right there. Let's see. And he says Waller, Devontae, Renfro, Carr, Drake, and Josh. Yeah, that shit's gonna be scary, bro. Like, it's gonna be scary, bro. Very, very, very tough for these opposing defenses, man. Let's see. It's not really new. It sold the Raiders when they had Mitchell Haynes, Lester Hayes, Stacey Tran, and Van McElroy. Never had to change personnel in the secondary. But I mean, those guys are better than what we had now. So it's like you were able to do that because these guys were superstars. Like, these guys were able to do everything and anything that they were asked to do, right? Like, there's limits with Jonathan Abram. There's limits with Keyshawn Nixon and fucking Brandon Faison. Like, you can't ask them to do everything. You can't. Let's see. Yo, Quinn, in this case, I can already wish you a happy birthday. Facts, Autumn Win, because my brother's already in Germany. So shout out to my guy Q, man. Happy birthday. Happy early birthday. We need speedsters right now, right guard and the lockdown corner. I agree. But I think that we have a speedster in Anthony Averett at the cornerback position. I think that we have a speedster on the receiver part in Tyron Johnson. But it's all up to this coaching staff what they think they have, truthfully. So we'll see. Let's see. Happy birthday, family. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big 2-5. That's dope, man. That is fire. That is fire, man. Shout out to my boy Q in the chat. Oh, he been showing love for a minute, too. Man, my guy. But listen, you guys, while we still have over 100 of you guys in the building, if you are new and this is your first time to the channel, please hit that subscribe. We are extremely, extremely close to that 5,000 subscriber mark. That's crazy for me to say that, man. But please hit that sub button if you are new. Do not be a stranger, man. Come back each time we are live and we are reporting news, whether it's a video, live, whatever it is. So we'll see. But I'm not over. The live ain't over. I just had to tell you how to hit that sub button real quick, man. Let's see. That's why Abram won't be here. I think that Abram will be here, but he'll have to be closer to the line of scrimmage. Abram has to play that weak side linebacker, or that sub linebacker and that hybrid strong safety linebacker role. I don't really think that Abram has a role on this team in terms of a strong safety or anything coverage safety at all. I like Abram, but I don't like him in coverage. He is a liability in coverage. We had tight ends mossing Abram. We had running backs mossing Abram. Like, we can't have that. We can't have that at all. We can't. Let's see. And it's not too far from California on both sides. I like Abram, or Abram will be like, I think he should be. I have a question, but those new jerseys here in Germany, it's really hard to get the new Adams or Jones jerseys. What about you guys? Is it already possible to get yours? Has anybody in here already ordered that? Let me see. I think, is it hard because they already sold out? Let's see. NFL.com. Is there? Let's see. My brother Kenny in here says, Andy, only Hobbs could get on the field with Lester. Bro, that's a lot of praise, bro. But you know what? I gotta give you your props because the second we drafted Hobbs, you did not switch up on the man. You saw something in him day one when we drafted him. So that's dope. But I don't know if he's in that same company though, bro. That's tough. Max Crosby. Let's see. Most popular, Devontae Adams. It looks like the Devontae Adams one is still up. It's just like certain sizes aren't available. The autumn win, but they got Devontae Adams white jersey. I don't see any Chandler Jones ones yet, but yeah. Can Abrams be fixed with the new coaching? In terms of fixed, like what are we talking about? Like, can he be fixed in terms of what? Like, I feel like he's at a point in his career. We already know his game. We just need to play to his strengths. Like, we need to scheme him in a role where he'll be successful week in and week out. And from what we've seen, from the sample size that we've seen of Abram in the NFL, he is a good player around the line of scrimmage. He is a bad player in coverage. So what the Raiders should do with that is, you say, you know what? When we need some run stopping, some hard hitting, and every now and again some quick pass coverage in the flats, Abram is your guy to do the job. And I think that Abram should be starting in certain defensive packages this year because Abram had over 100 tackles last year. I'm not sure that another player with his injury can get that, So it's like, I like Abram, but I think that at this point you just have to play to his strengths. I don't think that any coach in the NFL would fix his pass coverage issues in terms of deep downfield, but I think that a good coaching staff can make Abram look better than what he has in the last 3 years in the NFL. Now I'm probably gonna get an Adams jersey in a couple weeks before the season. I don't need no on the field jersey, not the special facts. Um, let's see, Andy, what up? Easter tomorrow's my 40th birthday, and Boston is up 1-0. Red Nation for life. We got another birthday boy with Dirty Eric in the chat. Another birthday boy in the building. Shout out to my brother Dirty. Happy birthday to you as well, my brother. Let's see, Boston. You talking about the Celtics? I don't like basketball at all. I don't like it. But hey, I'm glad that you're happy though, man. That's good. That's a good little birthday present. Let's see. Salute for going live on Easter, dog. Hey, man, I had to quick little hour with the nation for sure. Had to do that, man. Had to do that. Pass coverage, yeah, I don't think that he'll get fixed up in pass coverage for real. Let's see. I got a black Adams jersey. It's supposed to be here in June. That's what's up. JB already got it locked in for sure. Hayes and Haynes best CB doing the NFL history for sure. Let's see. Do they ship to Germany? I'm not sure if they're showing right here on NFL.com. I'm not sure if they're showing any international. Let's see. Do they show any international shipping? Let's see. Add to cart. I don't think they got any international shipping options for some reason. Let me see. Have a coupon. Yeah, I don't know. They're not showing anything. They should be able to ship international though. Like it's the NFL website. They should. They should have no problems with that. You got that right. I love the dude. He just doesn't fit. Yeah, Abrams just doesn't fit in certain places on the field. But in terms of near the box, near that line of scrimmage, yeah, Abrams a beast, man. He's a beast. There's just certain spots that on the field, it just doesn't suit Abram. It doesn't. Let's see. They can hide his deficiency better in different packages and formations. I agree. I definitely agree. Like when we're in our base 3-4, I think that if you put him at that weak side linebacker on first, maybe second down as well, I think that you can get a lot of production out of Abram in that base 3-4 at that weak side linebacker spot. But what I don't want us to do is see Abram doing anything more in coverage or asking Abram to do more than a hook to curl or flats in coverage. Like I think that overall that just makes him look worse than what he is because the fans will take one thing and they'll run with it. But what the fans won't do is look at the 100 tackles he had and the big plays, the big hits. He doesn't get enough credit for that, but they kill him when he gets beat in coverage. So I feel like what this coaching staff should do then is say, you know what? This guy has a nose for the ball carrier. We're gonna put him in. We're gonna put him in first, second down. Let him get to that ball carrier. Let him get a hit in. Let him get a tackle for loss, and then we'll take him out. Put a guy like Jayon Brown in that's better in coverage that'll play that nickel, and then you got himself a good role. Is it the same volume of plays that he was playing last year? No, but it's gonna allow him to probably earn himself a second contract. So we'll see. Let's see. Oh dang! All right. Post Easter birthday. Happy birthday, Dirty Facts. Happy birthday, the Big 4-0 Facts. Shipped to Korea. They ship internationally. When I was in the army, they shipped to Korea. Damn. Oh, shout out to you, CC, for also serving, man. Appreciate you, man. That's dope. Let's see. But yeah, you guys, I don't think that in terms of like Abram, he'll get like fixed to the point where he'll be some superstar pass coverage linebacker. I don't think so. I don't think so. But I think that he'll have a good career ahead of him going forward. If this goes well, right? If he's healthy, I do think that he'll have to put on probably like at least like 8 pounds to, hopefully it's upper body weight and that kind of stuff. But listen, you guys, we've been in here for an hour. I appreciate everybody who's already here, who spent this whole hour with me during Easter while you guys are with the family. Means a lot to me. Over 120 of you guys today, but I understand it's a family day, so I want to let you guys go back to your family, spend time with them. But I did want to show my face here on Easter Sunday for you guys. I love you guys. On your way out, please hit that subscribe button because, like I said, we are very, very close to 5,000 subscribers. So hit that sub button if you are new. But Raider Nation, as always, I always like to finish off the shows like this, man. I love you guys. Stay safe. Have a blessed night. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.